Stinky Popcorn Boys.
We watch movies and eat popcorn. And our stink.
Hello. We are the Stinky Popcorn Boys. Just some boys talking about movies and how they made us feel. I am Patrick Baskwell, and when I was 6 years old, I rode a horse named Cinnamon, and Cinnamon threw me off of its back and sparked the other horses in the stable, and they ran around, and my 4-year-old or 2-year-old brother was on, and they were strapped in and running around, and I had to roll out of the way, and I looked at the hoof as it came down where my head was.
Sounds like in Lord of the Rings, like those shots with the hobbits.
Yeah,
the horses.
That's what it was like.
Yeah. Well, I am John Gilardi, and the opening scene. Funny enough, some of the most anxiety I got was the film set scene. Just these pieces of shit film people being assholes. I guess I don't know. It just gave me so much anxiety of the people I went to school with. And
are you talking? You're talking about that first scene where he is given the safety meeting.
Yeah, and just how everyone's just the worst. They're just the worst, and that didn't feel satirical at all. So
no,
that just gave me a lot of anxiety in a movie that's in a thriller horror movie too, and that was one of my takeaway moments. But we watched Nope, the latest Jordan Peele flick, his third, following Us and Get Out. I saw a tweet and I was like, eventually Jordan Peele's movies will form a complete sentence.
I think that's really cool.
I mean, if that's a intent of his, that would be cool.
Get Out, Us, Nope. Nope, Get Out, Us.
Nope, Us, Get Out. It's
Us, Get Out, Nope.
Anyways, this
Us, Get Out, Nope.
There's definitely insinuation in the early trailers that this was like an alien thing, but their imagery they showed was so weird that I don't know, the field with the blow up guys was enough to make you wonder what is this about?
You're like, what the fuck is going on here?
You think of is it culty or something, And anyways, I didn't watch trailers. I assumed it was a flying saucer thing, but I didn't watch that final trailer that you see the saucer a lot, thankfully. So that was nice. But did you watch that final trailer? Jeez, you really see it. I'm watching the background.
I'm watching that's what I'm saying. I'm watching the final trailer in the background too, and I'm like, and it's crazy how much sense it makes after seeing the movie.
Yeah.
Especially because even with this, where you see the whole trailer, you see the whole ship or not a ship, and you're like, oh shit. This is different. This is big. But it's I don't know. It just makes a lot more sense. But in seeing the trailer, it still feels, even watching this final trailer, it's what the fuck is happening? What is this circus thing?
Yeah.
I just want to
Well, it definitely plays with weird Americana, imagery.
Yeah.
And so which really isn't anything to do with a story or theming, I think. I could be missing things, but I think that's the you're kind of looking for that The Purge kind of weird cultiness, something uncomfortable and unsettling. And it's not really, unless I'm missing something, the wavy things are just a symbol, are just a means for them to find out when the monster's near, because when the monster's near, the electricity goes away. And then the city or the kind of cowboy town is where a child actor is trying to make money with a little area,
Yeah.
And so, and I'd say those were the major kind of trying to figure out what the hell the
images in the trailer.
Trying to discern what that kind of stuff was about. But it's pretty basic, which is fine. And I think that's a nice thing about this movie is that it's more just a man versus nature movie, pretty simply, which is fun. But it comes at you without you seeing it. I guess like you're not ready for that. Like you're ready for some alien stuff and for that to be creepy and uncomfortable. And when you learn what it is, it just kind of turns into, I don't know, just an animal movie, which it's really cool. It definitely genre blends a lot, which is nice, and I'm a fan of that, especially when it's not relying on comedy. Like there is a little bit of comedy in here, but it's not a comedy by any stretch of the imagination. So it's nice to have a genre blend of things that don't include comedy as well, like action comedy or whatever. So
yeah, and I think that I agree, because it's like, again, I just want to say is like I love the way that Jordan Peele tells stories. Just because it feels very like hyper real, surreal. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, because it is like, it's clearly in a like set in a place that's like close to ours, and like, but it just takes itself very seriously. Like the whole chimpanzee thing. Is both, where it is both for laughs. Obviously, it's not for laughs, but it's like, it is both. And it's just, I don't know. It all serves to sort of like make you feel like there's something more. Like even the fact that the chimpanzee is like both not connected to the major story of this, and it's very much like a big B, but it also, everything in this underlines sort of his like main point, or it feels like it and I don't know if I'm the person to say what his main point is. I think he's the only person to say what his main point is, but there's a reason that these movies are so cool, because it's like there's so much more. Like there's clearly so much more. At least it feels that way to me, where it's like there's just so many threads to pull that still all lead to this like bigger story that is just the story that we're telling. Like he's got bigger points or whatever, and it's like you can either get with that and like that or not. But also at the end of the day, you're going to watch a pretty interesting and like relatively funny but also scary like horror movie that's got like a unique fucking voice.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I just really love the way that he tells stories.
Yeah. I mean, and he's so young too, so just getting started. And especially like he's been telling these stories, these cool stories with these kind of unsettling, horror-y kind of thriller vibes. And I still think he has a lot more to tell within this genre, but it's cool to just know that there's so much like left for him to tell, I guess, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I think I really like this movie. I liked it better than Us. I don't know if I'd rank Get Out over this. I think they might be a tied first, and then
okay, wow,
and then Us for me is a ranked 3, because you can't.
Okay.
I think that's how ties work, when you skip the rank below. And, I've only really watched Us the one time, so maybe another watch, but I don't know. I think Us also personally was like a certain type of uncomfortable that wasn't enjoyable for me, where like kind of the mystery, weird thriller, scary of Get Out in this kind of pique my curiosity in a way that there's a satisfying kind of mystery solved.
Yeah.
But
I do. Yeah, it definitely like. Well, and I guess think about it too. Is like, what is the resolution of Us versus what is the resolution of these other two movies? Like Us, the resolution or like the realization is that there was something wrong the whole time and nothing changed, or things changed, but the bad guys still won, sort of.
Yeah.
And like that's the realization. Versus in both of these movies, both of Get Out and Nope, they resolve and like the heroes win.
Yeah. Which maybe is better for me. I don't know.
I will say I did like Us better the second time I watched it through and paid attention.
See, wait, did you pay attention the first time, or you just watched it to pick up things?
Yeah, I watched it to sort of pick up things.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely been long enough
like,
for me to give it its due again.
Well, and it's also just nice to watch that sort of movie, like with understanding the connections of things. The same with, which is why I think, Interstellar worked so well for me as well too. Because like when I first watched it, I was like, okay, cool, nice, that was cool. And then watching Interstellar again or watching Us again, I was very much like, oh, cool.
Yeah, both movies I've only seen once, and Interstellar I liked, and Us I liked as well, but I think I liked Interstellar. My liking of Interstellar was higher than Us, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But that's to say, is like I do owe them a second, a second watch. So did you see that trailer that revealed a lot before seeing this movie?
I don't think so. I don't think I did, because I tried to avoid as much as possible for that like thing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we've already seen quite a bit of it, and there's like a bunch of weird stuff. I kind of want to keep it weird.
Yeah, I think that's the part of the joy in this.
Yeah.
And where trailers can be disappointing, or not disappointing, where trailers can be negative, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying, but like, I think the trailer that you watch before the first trailer that comes out, usually there's the teaser and then there's like that big trailer. I think those are safe to watch typically. But then the one right before, I don't want to watch.
The one that comes out right before the movie comes out, get it out of here. I already want to see it. It's like the first initial trailer. Yeah. It's like, please, this is what it's about. Please, please, please. Here's the thing. Please, 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 please. Like, that's essentially what that final trailer is. It's like, look, I'm telling you, you're going to like it. Here's the things. You're going to like it. Please.
Yeah, exactly.
Just come fucking see this movie in theaters. Whereas, like, the teaser trailer is like for us, for people who enjoy cinema, it's like, ooh, it's almost like the announcement. The odds are you probably already know that it's sort of coming.
Yeah.
But like seeing a trailer for it, you're like, ooh, look at this. Here we are. Cool, cool, cool. And then like the next one is like, all right, like usually the best way that I've seen is like a 1 minute teaser followed by like a 2 minute other trailer. 2 minute, those are the two trailers. Like the teaser trailer and then the full trailer. Nice. If those are good, that's all I need to see.
That's
I'm gonna
typically
see
all
it.
I watch. Like even like Thor random, like recently, it's one I didn't do the second, the one right before. I think it like showed more of Zeus and stuff and whatnot. And
it's like, I'm gonna see it. I don't need you to sell me on it.
Yeah, exactly. So what was your more favorites from it, or like performances?
Like
or
my favorite scenes. Well, I love Daniel Kaluuya. I guarantee I'm mispronouncing his name. I love Daniel. How do you say your last name?
The first time I saw him was, and probably for a lot of people, the first time I saw him was in that Black Mirror episode with the treadmill or something, where you're
Kaluuya.
I think they're like on bikes or something. They're like in some weird factory and they have to like work to create energy or something, and then they go back to their room. Do you know? Have you seen that Black Mirror episode?
I haven't seen a lot of Black Mirror episodes, surprisingly.
Okay, so that was the first time he came on my radar, I guess, as watching things, and then he's shown up in quite a few movies. I mean, he was in Black Panther.
Yeah.
Get Out.
The first time I saw him was in Get Out.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, which is, again, mainly because I haven't seen a lot of Black Mirror, for better or worse.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
want to watch more of it. I think after COVID,
Well,
it's I'm just gonna watch it and embrace the fact that that the world where we live in now is this.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is
well.
it more than less. Isn't that the case? Isn't that true, baby?
He was
Whoa.
Oh yeah, Sicario. He's in Sicario.
Oh, you're right.
And Kick-Ass 2, which I don't remember him in Kick-Ass 2.
I haven't seen Kick-Ass.
But I've only seen Kick-Ass 2 once. But his name in Sicario, the character's name was Reggie Wayne.
Oh, which is a football player.
Yeah, that's funny.
Huh.
Yeah, no, he's great. I think.
Oh, he's good in fucking Judas and the Black Messiah. I mean, obviously, he won a fucking Oscar for it.
Yeah, he was good in that. I don't think I've seen that one, but that's just a funny statement that you said with the context.
He's good in it. Yeah, he won an Oscar. Duh.
No, he's great. I love this character of Wrangler, the horse wrangler, and then just like that, like country boy, like the quiet country boy type, and then being placed in these crazy situation, and then him kind of using his expertise and his training. I don't know. It's cliche in the sense of like the Jurassic Park with the paleontologists use their expertise, but I don't know. It's a fun role because he's not charismatic, essentially by design.
But he's so like the character.
But he still is.
But
the actor is.
He's so expressive. He's so expressive with his eyes and his like little micro, like the things that he's paying attention to. It's just like he's so good. He's so fun. He's so fun to watch. Even when and it's especially the case. It's one of the reasons, like, he's got that same jazz that Ryan Gosling has, where it's where it's like you don't need to hear them talk to know what they're thinking.
Oh yeah.
Like they're both so good, and they're both also so like quick with it. Whenever like, so that they make these like sort of like monosyllabic or like relatively like quiet characters feel fun and also like incredibly engaging for not talking, because a lot of time you take too much and you speak too much, or it's easy to get lost in words.
I mean, that's like a throwback to old movies, where the performance and the imagery and the editing, all these things come together, obviously in title cards, but like to tell the story. And it's not that this is alluding to that, but like the first film or whatever is shown here, and I don't know. That's where my brain jumps to. And I don't think I think it's more just let's do the Ryan Gosling kind of thing, which I don't think they literally said. But you know what I mean? Like, I think that was more of a creative choice than an allusion to like silent films, but it I don't know. I mean, it could be because of all the stuff that he's feel for sure with it. Even obviously, I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, no, you're not far off, because one of the things that Jordan Peele said in some of the interviews that I've read with this is that he was looking to make something. Like, he wrote this and they were like prepping for this movie at a time whenever like they were worried about the bigness of film, and like they wanted to like support, like they wanted to be like, hey, this is going to be like, this is a cinematic, this is a cinematic experience you need to see in theaters. And I feel like that's like one of the things that people are doing now, where it's like, we want to make this cinematic, we want to make this big. And that was one of the things. So I think that having a character that like that does sort of like pull from, and especially given his given the story itself about the first horse riding on film, like with that being a part of their whole thing, is like I could 100% see them playing with like you're gonna be like a blend of a silent movie star, and like that's gonna be how we're gonna go about this character.
True. I mean, yeah, I felt like I was onto something, I guess, in terms of what I felt, but I think you definitely put it way more eloquently and added to it, obviously. I'm also a little bit drained from this last week. So
yeah, we had a lot going on.
Yeah.
We had a lot. I mean, I guess too. 20 minutes into the podcast or whatever, it's like that's right. Sorry, we've been gone for so long. We've been very busy. You know. But thanks for.
We're actually recording this on a Wednesday, which is when episodes come out, but we'll put it out next Wednesday so we can catch up and maybe build a backlog. But it's been a lot of traveling and show running, I guess you could say, and sorry we missed you a few weeks, but we're back.
we miss you. We love you. We're glad to be back.
We should watch We're Back for an episode. The dinosaur
We're
movie.
Back. Which one's that?
The dinosaur movie where they're like dinosaurs come back, but then they like someone makes them evil and the dinosaurs scream at the kids, and it's like
Okay,
evil.
yeah, I'm down.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I see it. I mean, I just searched it. John Goodman's in it. Rhea Perlman's in it. Yeah, apparently.
Huh.
I bet you he's the main dinosaur.
That movie scared me, but I loved
That movie
it.
scared you? You know what movie fucking scared me? As we fully derail, fucking both Page Master, and then also, oh my gosh, what is that movie called? With the cat, Cock-a-doodle-doo, Rock-a-doodle-doo.
Oh.
That movie scared me.
I think I avoided that movie for that reason.
I mean, all of those movies.
It was this one guy who like used to work for Disney, started his own thing. He made like Not All Dogs That Go to Heaven. Like he made all these like kind of sketch movies.
Well, and then like Rats of Nim. Did you ever watch Rats of Nim?
Sounds familiar.
Don Bluth film, Rock-a-Doodle-Doo. This movie scared me whenever he got beat up or like thrown out of the thing. This like the bad guy scared me. This little owl. Thumbelina scared me too. I can't believe people will like look back at Thumbelina fondly. It's baffling to me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, Jesus, this is terrible.
Even Brave Little Toaster was kind of like enough to scare a kid. But speaking of scary movies, so what did you think of The Monster? I think the biggest scare I had was from the aliens, like the alien children in costumes.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That got me good.
I loved it when he punched it. Spoiler alert. But when he punched it, I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Well,
part of me was like, okay, you live on a ranch. You got to like shotgun somewhere. Like, go get the gun, dude. But I'm glad he didn't, because he would have just murdered the man's children.
I know. And I'm sure, like, you know, he would have, like, again, he just didn't have it with him. He didn't think that that's what he was going to do. And so he just punched it in the face, which is, again, it's like.
I mean, if I was in that situation, I would have found a gun. And, I mean, God, that's dangerous. It was a movie telling, plot telling thing, and it set up the. It didn't set it up. But the child actor, and you know, with his little business, he was like selling merch and selling alien costumes and stuff. So it's like, it doesn't reveal anything. It's just there for world building that his kids are like this.
Yeah.
But
do you think so I guess that being a horror movie, is that the scariest part of the movie?
Yeah, I wasn't really like scared at all after that. Because there's a lot of it's during the day too, and like then they learn the rules of the monster too, which you learn, and then you're like, okay, so then it just becomes like a kind of actiony thriller, just man versus nature movie at that point. So it's like it kind of doesn't end a horror movie, I would say.
I liked it. I liked that it was a lot during the day. He very much like,
Yeah,
again, because
I'm not
especially
complaining.
like if it's no. I mean, I'm not saying you're complaining. Don't get defensive on me, okay?
Oh,
It's all right. It's
spicy.
all right, bud. But I love the choice to make the stuff during the day because again, a lot of it is that sort of like subversion of monster horror movies and also alien movies too, because everything takes place at night. In a lot of horror movies, just
like
because.
a suburbious. I mean, I think typically the alien movies are in like a middle America, Midwestern kind of vibe too, which
Yeah.
isn't a huge change. I mean, there's like tons of alien stuff like Roswell and all that, but I don't know. This felt different enough.
It felt, as someone who, has spent time in LA and like spent time out west a lot, it felt very out west. Like the big canyons, the big rocky, like this is something like whenever I spent my month out in the desert, I was like, this is very, like, I wasn't staying in a big ranch, but like, yeah, this is it. This is the vibe of like 2 hours outside of LA, this is
Yeah.
it. Probably 3 hours, actually, but whatever.
Yeah, which I think I don't contemporarily isn't used as a setting too much, or at least in the
No.
mainstream content that I've seen. I mean, the last
Well,
thing I can think of is like GTA having like a whole part of its story out there and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and then also too, like it very much sometimes feels like whenever you go into LA, it's like important or big. Whereas like when you're in LA, it's just like, nope, it's just like a little bodega. It's like a little trash place over here. It's really not that big of a deal.
Like taking advantage of it, like what it actually has.
Yeah, where it's like
Yeah.
when they went to Angel's house or his apartment there, it was like that is sort of what it feels like, where it's just like weird and little, like essentially a big strip mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The place felt very good. I also too was very pseudo triggered by that opening scene because
the
it's
set?
like, yeah, the set, not the opening scene, because the opening scene, and we can talk about that in a second. But
Yeah.
I love the monster design too, and the fact that, again, it's like I think one of the things Jordan Peele does a really good job storytelling wise is by showing you something that is like, oh shit, this is big, and then when the reveal of what it actually is versus what the perception of it is also big, but it's different. And it's like, again, it's really interesting because you can see this sort of like improv or comedy thought in it, where it's really just about the way that you show it is different, or the way that you pay off the tension is different, where it's very much like there's a thing in improv or comedy where it's like you go A to C, where it's like if we're doing word association and I say alien, and the first thing you think of when you think of alien is green, and then you go from green to jungle, and then you go from jungle to like cats or something like that. So, and we're going A to C, and so that C is just, now it's jungle, and it's like, oh, maybe the jungle is an alien, and we're killing the jungle, so we're killing the aliens that have been here, that have been living us for forever, whatever. So you just go from A to C to make whatever the connection is, or with the origination of the story, so that you just have a little bit more. You're playing with the expectations and the tensions of what people have versus, paying off what they know is going to be there, which will also pay off the tension. Whenever Michael is like, I'm gonna stab you in the chest, and it's like, he's gonna stab you in the chest, you just don't know when. And then the win comes a beat sooner or a beat after you expected, which is then paying off the tension in a different way. But if
I mean, yeah,
Does that make sense?
I think I follow. I mean, essentially, he's done the misdirection thing with 3 movies successfully, I'd say, or or tie it in thematically with something. Like, there's a lot of like the Hands Across America thing. Was interesting and came around, and I mean, I can't comment too much on that movie besides that. I mean, a lot more besides that, but in terms of what I'm trying to say, and then with like Get Out, it's like shit's creepy here. What's going on, and then it turns out it's like a weird auction to like take over his body. And then with this movie, it's a flying saucer, but it's actually an organic being, like some kind of monster. It's not even fully explained that it could be an alien. It could be just an ancient being of this planet, or something weird. And that's so cool, and it's just so refreshing, and it there is a weird movie that he could have made where they were little like green men or some form of some humanoid quadrupedal or pentapedal or whatever creature, but this was still very satisfying and cool. Yeah. I mean, like maybe they were some kind of horse worshipping, but no, this thing just was a predator, and it was eating horses, and then it would eat humans, and I think the most horror moment, and it wasn't like scary or jumpy, but was when all the people that were in attendance for the show at the child star place, the cowboy town, when they're being digested, and the screams, like holy shit, like the and
they continue to get digested and stuff.
Claustrophobia of that, the claustrophobic of the phobia of the shot was just like, I don't know, like I felt like I was there with those people, and this was their final moments. Like they weren't actively in pain. They were just sucked out of where they were, and now they're in this tight, wet, probably moist, humid, smelly space crammed up against each other, and just collectively the terror of the screaming and like what's going on, and then just being digested alive. Like holy shit, like that was terror. That was terrifying. Yeah, that was a really cool moment, and it doesn't go back to that. Like it's there in such a little way that you're just like, it sticks with you.
And that's one of the things he does really well, where he doesn't he's like, I know that this is good. I don't need to eat this. I don't need to try and feed you this again.
Yeah.
This is, I don't need to try and feed you this again. You'll get it. You'll like it.
Yep.
Which is like, you're right, bud.
It's interesting. There's a lot of trailer footage that isn't used.
Yeah, I noticed that there's stuff of her. It looks like sitting on a stoop in a city somewhere.
Yeah, and then she gets sucked up all the way. Does that happen in the film?
She does get sucked up, but she doesn't get sucked up. Like she falls out of it.
Oh, okay. Well, then there's a clip of the main character like dabbing up with some random kid on the front of his house, which doesn't happen. I've never seen that kid. There's like some random white dude.
Are you sure it's not Angel?
Having a feature shot. No, it was like a kid, like a fat kid.
Huh. Jeez, John.
I'm just trying to tell you it was not Angel or the Angel actor.
What trailer is this? Or is this the final trailer?
I think it was Nope X Choices BET Awards, maybe. Oh, BET Awards. But what was I gonna say? One part I didn't like, and this is maybe Marvel ruining movies for me.
Ooh, give it to him.
But like the paparazzi guy with the TMZ guy with the camera.
Yeah.
And the way his voice was so echoing. Oh, it's her sister. It's his sister. God, it was so brief. It looked like a kid. I don't know. It's his sister. I don't know if that's it could be in the movie. But what was I saying?
The silver helmet guy.
Yeah, it was just like I was ready for a reveal of like, who could this be? Or just like that whole thing felt weird and uncomfortable, like why this person was so fixated. I guess they were protecting their identity by not exposing their face, but Maybe that's all
Well,
it
I
is.
think that.
But
I think
it's
that
just the
that's-
Marvel in me is like, who is this? Who? What's the reveal? You know, it's got to be
Yeah.
earned. It's all got to come back around. You know, like that's not the movie's fault, but
I think
don't know.
that it's supposed to do that, where it's supposed to make you think and like be like, why is this guy that's still there? You know, like what the fuck? Who is this? Who's this
well, he
guy?
ultimately wasn't the biggest issue. I mean, he was a plot device to have the motorcycle, and then so that she could do the Akira thing, and get around. And it was, of course, it's electric. I guess
Woogie.
even ICE cars, internal combustion engine cars, don't work. So I don't know. It didn't have to be electric, which is weird. That normal cars.
Didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, once a car starts, I don't think it needs electricity to keep going. I don't know. And,
I don't know enough about cars to speak on that, but it's also one of those things where it's like, frick it, let's go with it.
Yeah, it's fine. But to that point, it didn't need to be electric then, you know?
Yeah.
But I think it was a weird... So it didn't really throw a wrench into anything. But it did introduce the bike, I guess. But like the cinematographer guy totally was like the one who fucked it all up. And in such a frustrating way. And it's not communicated well. Like he's just trying to get the one last shot or just like the glory shot. Didn't mean to make it sound like that. But like, I don't know. How did you interpret that character? I didn't understand why he did that, like besides to prolong the movie.
I think that so a lot of this movie is about getting the shot, getting the one thing. And like he's kind of like the producer. So if this is hear me out. He's like the producer where they set up and they've done all this work and he comes in to benefit off of their work but ends up fucking it up. You know?
I mean, yeah. Don't need to do much more convincing than that. I'm sold on that.
Yeah, cuz a lot of this movie is about I mean again, this is me. I'm not saying with any definitive like this is what this movie is about, but this is what it feels like it's about to me, where it's very much like it's about being like a lot of it is about being a black creative who gets taken advantage of, but also using your like. And then also like creating generational wealth, because there's a bunch of like cool little things in there that is like he has to keep the business going, and that he's not going to give up on this thing that his dad built and that his like family's been doing for forever, even if they're. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that feel good?
Feels good to me.
And then also. Like the whole like just because you work with someone and they treat you well doesn't mean that that you can trust them, which is sort of what the chimpanzee thing is, where it's like, you know, even and it's like even though he's a black person working with these white people, they are still predators, and have always been predators, and that's they're just waiting for that one thing to go wrong to turn on them. Does that make sense?
I think so. I mean, I think I
don't
saw
know. That's a reach.
Yeah. I saw Gordy the Chimp as I think ultimately the uncontrollability of nature, I guess, you know, the man versus nature of like the hubris of man thinking that man has power over everything. And You know, it never really comes to with them and the monster. I mean, it does for the child star guy. Like, he thinks he understands it, and it comes to bite him. And it makes sense because he's the one that had the experience with the chimp on set. And so, you know, that's contained in a nice way, I think.
Uh-huh.
I think that's nicely done, and I think that's how what I got from it. But it's very very scary too. But it's also
the chimpanzee thing, the Gordy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, even like when you see it longer, and the woman's dead, being beat, and then one of the dad actors like comes out and he tries to run away.
Yeah.
And he gets caught. It's like,
well, it's really cool how that first shot pays off. You know, where it's like you're seeing it, and that sets the tone, and then we cut away and we go to that first scene where he's given the safety brief, and then we pay that scene off later, and we are the perspective. We are Steven Yeun's perspective.
Yeah,
and it's like, that's cool. Like,
very well,
we saw how we were gonna get there.
Very well layered in there, like an ogre.
So
like
layered.
Onions. I don't know, like onions popped in my head layered, and then I dropped a Shrek reference. Damn, I'm tired.
I love
which
it,
sucks.
dude. I love it.
It's such a fucking good movie that I wish I had more energy for it, but for more energy to talk about it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it a lot. I didn't have any expectations. That's not to say that I didn't expect anything good. I just went in free of any baggage, you know, and that was nice. That was really nice, and it was just a fun time at the theater watching the cinema. And,
yes, it was. It was a good cinematic event, I will say.
And my only, like, this is not a 5-star perfect movie, but it's also not a movie I'd change anything, or I actually didn't have any glaring things that I disliked or felt was weak, you know, besides this is on me, but like the TMZ guy, like feeling like there was some sort of reveal coming, but there wasn't, and then, which is on me. And then
maybe that's what maybe also that's his point. He's like, not everything is a part of something bigger. Sometimes people are just assholes. Yeah.
I mean, that's brilliant if that was on purpose. I
feel like everything's on purpose, though. Like, especially with, this is the sort of movie where they're so careful with the storytelling that, like, down to the fact of, like, just like the little nuggets in there where he's OJ and, you know, he is riding a Bronco at the end. Like, he ends up riding like a Bronco.
Yeah.
At the end.
Do you think
and
he lives at the end? Or do you think that was more like she's seeing him, the spirit of him or something?
Oh, I think he lives. I think he lives. I think he's the hero. Because part of it is that's such a cool shot. What's her name? I forget her name. She's just Keke Palmer to me.
The character's name?
Yeah. What's the character's name? Because I think there's also something interesting in there where he's wearing orange at the end and she's wearing green, and it matches up with how they're supposed to be for their names. What's her name? John, are you still there?
I don't know. No, I'm trying to find it. The character's name?
Yeah.
Google is not helpful with these things sometimes.
Emerald.
Oh, yeah.
So she's wearing green at the end. I love that. And it's like, that's so corny, but I fucking love it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
With him being OJ at the end, and he's wearing orange, and her name's Emerald, and she's wearing green at the end. That's beautiful stuff, dude.
I mean, nice and simple. Like, not like
nice.
Thing is, like, people, I don't know, like, references and stuff doesn't need to be deep or convoluted. Like, it can be simple.
Because it's just like things for people to find.
Yeah. Well,
little
I think there's a weird thing with like the YouTube or like the lore hunters or people breaking shit down so far. It's like there are even like rap lyrics or like anything that like stacks or something like I don't know. There's been certain people that like break down rap lyrics and see how many references are in references, and it's just like sometimes it doesn't need to be that deep, or maybe you can only stack one reference in or one clever wordplay instead of like stacking in four and referencing something specifically, but it could be any type of music.
But it's also like what's important about that, and like also, why, why don't you, like, it is also in the consumer who also makes those references sometimes. It's in the perception that creates those references versus like you as the creator making them. Like you just make the best story that is possible and like have your little things, and maybe or maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like people like they will latch on and they're like, "Ooh, this is this," and it's like, actually, no, but like, cool. If you want it to be, hey man.
On the having been on both ends, it's definitely. Sometimes people are right, some people are wrong. Some people have really good points, some people don't. Some people understand it, sometimes they don't. And that's just the nature of it. But that's all to say is, again, it doesn't need to be complicated to be good. And I'm not saying this movie is simple by any means. It has tons of depth and layers of things. But
so many layers.
Back to the layers. But
so many onions. I
don't know. There was one of our like fellow kind of YouTubers had a show called Chisel This, and they would just break down lyrics to an insane amount. And I always thought like I was young enough where I was like, oh man, damn. And I think that rubbed off on other people too. Like, oh man, it needs to be this deep and complicated, but it doesn't,
Yeah.
Like it's okay.
Nah, it doesn't have to be that deep.
No.
It can be.
Do you have any negatives here?
Honestly, no. Like, I think that this is probably. I like this movie a lot, and I just love the way that Jordan Peele tells stories, and I can't wait to see more from him.
Same.
I don't really have any like big negatives. I love the scene. I love how the DP gets involved. I love the scene where the house eats, or where the saucer eats everybody, and then like is like, I'm still hungry, and like rains blood down on top of the house and stuff. I just I really like this movie. I like a lot of the parts of it. I love like the little treasure hunting. I love the spectacle of it. It's a fucking awesome cinematic ride.
I think I have a negative.
Give me a negative, dude. Fucking rip it up. Jordan needs the critique. He needs to get brought down a little bit.
I think the flying cash or like metal bits is interesting and like super mysterious. You're like, what the hell's going on here? But then the reveal is just kind of that it's like, that's it, digesting or getting rid of waste.
Mm-hmm.
But that means it would be right above. So it's during the day. Maybe he doesn't know his technology's gone, but I guess it just doesn't feel like it lines up with the rules they build. Like it's kind of like a cold open kind of like thing.
Do you want me to spoil your negative?
Sure.
Because he says right before it happens, he's like, "Didn't you fix that Turner thing?" Because the electricity goes out.
Okay.
So the technology does go out.
What about the blood? I guess I don't know.
Told him. All right. You know what? Fair, because it's those two hikers in the beginning. They had like a news thing. They're still looking for two hikers disappeared into the ass of the world. Also, his phone dies right before it happens. His phone dies, and the Turner thing stops.
Fair. But I think the blood, I don't know. And maybe that's a volume thing. Maybe the blood evaporates in the air going down.
I think it's a volume thing, and it's also probably.
But also, that's a lot of little metal bits all at once for like a pretty sustained amount of time. So it doesn't matter. I'm just.
No, dude, it
know.
matters. We're trying to fucking rip it up, and basically what we're saying is we're having a hard time ripping it up.
Yeah. In the end, it's a good reflection of the film, I'd say.
Yeah. Where you're like, all right, here's a bad thing, and I'm like, well, actually.
You just proved like 4 to 5 points, but I still have the 1 point. That's a lot of change. And where's the blood?
And the blood. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you know what? Hey, this movie sucks because of that thing, because of that little bit. Oh,
Yep.
I just also want to say too, the choice to show the monster is so great. Like the choice to like
when
we're
it
not
folds
gonna.
out?
Yeah, when it folds out, it was fucking cool as shit. But also like
Not the
to
Jaws
pretty
affect it.
Yeah, to not like run away. It's like, no, this thing is here. You see it. We're not signs in this motherfucker where we're going to show you glimpses and then have something that's invisible until the last little bit. It's like, no, this motherfucker's here. You're going to see it and you're going to see it. So shh.
Shush your booty.
Shush your booty. Your booty? Shush it. And I was like, hell yeah, that's cool as fuck. I love the cinematographer dude who's just like, I'm gonna get this shot.
And then I think he realizes, what am I doing? I'm so dumb.
Either that or he's like, this is how I want to die. Perfect. Oh no, but I am dying though.
I think that's the vibe I got, but
yeah,
I don't know.
There's always like a little balance whenever there's any sort of character like that that's like, yeah, this is the way that I want to go out, but also, shit, I'm dying.
Yeah.
You know. Cool. So what do you give this movie?
I gave it a 4 out of 5. It's one of those not perfect movie, not like a movie that spoke to me or like satisfied every little thing for me and my tastes. That's what it gets a 5-star. But it's a 4, it's like a flawless 4. It's very good. I liked it a lot. Very good movie.
Okay.
How about you?
I'm gonna say it's a 4 1/4 wacky waving inflatable arm tube man.
Ooh, good call.
Yeah, four out of those guys, and then one that's like a little bit deflated. Look at that.
Oh,
You
just
hear
a
that?
little.
You see that?
A little
It's
bit
just
of
like, oh, something just left, or something just is coming,
yeah.
hanging out. What's going on? The world may never know. Yeah, because I really like this movie, and again, I can't stress enough. It is a cinematic experience, and you should go watch it in theaters if you can.
Yeah, I think. I mean, if you're comfortable with it, go see movies in movie theaters. It's not even comparable, and like obviously big screen's great, but it's like the audio and just the locked in focus too, of not pulling up your phone and just being in the movie. You know, I don't like to text and be distracted during a movie, but you know, when you're home, you'll pull your phone up a few times. When you're in the theaters, you're locked in, you know, and that's nice. And that's something, you know, if you don't go a lot, but you still like watching movies, I don't know, just do it. Just go if you're up for it.
Just do it. Just go.
Yeah. What have you been watching?
I have been watching. Oh man, what did I watch on the plane? Because I watched Nope, obviously. But what did I watch on the plane? This is why I gotta fucking restart my letterbox. Because I watched 2 movies on the plane, and I don't remember what they were. And then shout out American Airlines. I just want to say real fast for having the American AA in flight, and then not having it work from my flight from Chicago to Wilmington. Shout out for that not working. Little gripes here and there. It all adds up.
Yeah.
But I've been watching my brother's play. I watched 2 movies that I don't remember, so they clearly weren't very good. Holy shit.
You went to the Second City?
I did go to the Second City. I went to the Second City in Chicago. I saw their current show that's on the main stage right now. Usually, just a little peek behind the curtain, how that works is like they have 2 shows. They have the show that's in the ETC theater that's like a little bit weirder and is maybe like a tryout for something else. And then they have their main stage show, which follows a pretty good formula and is always like, it's just a little bit more on the line, even as they'll do some fucking weird stuff there too. But the ETC theater is like their B theater where they're like, we're going to do a whole improvised musical about buttholes.
Wow.
But also then have them get super weird and give buttholes like science or something. I don't know.
Is this what you saw?
A real example? No.
Okay.
It was their like sketch show that's like sketch. I don't know how to. It's like I think you should leave, but longer and more a play.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
No.
Is that my phrase? Does that make sense?
That was a good reframe.
Is that my? Yeah. What about you? What did I fucking watch on the plane?
Don't want to comment on them too much, but War of the Worlds and Total Recall I watched while painting minis. War of the Worlds has the stupidest character arc ever with not Jimmy Steve or whatever from Shameless. That guy's in it. And his character arc is so dumb. He's like wants to see you battle and he wants some help out. And he's just like a 15-year-old kid. It's so dumb. And then I saw The Princess Bride for the first time. We did an episode on that. Okay.
We did an episode on that. Yeah, they know.
So it's,
you
okay,
guys
it's
know,
more
right?
recent than I watched Dirty Dozen. As you guys know, I'm a war film viewer. I guess it's weird to say fan or enthusiast with anything associated with war, but
yeah.
So I watched the Dirty Dozen. I like war films and wasn't too impressed by it. I think the movie spent way too much time of the training and setting up, and setting up the characters and stuff. So I think that's where its biggest weakness was. Watch Sleeping Beauty. It's funny how similar some of these old Disney movies were. And I think it was the first commercial failure for Disney, and I can
Sleeping
see
Beauty
why.
was?
Yeah. Like I lost money, and it's because it's so similar to like elements overlap so much for Snow White and Cinderella to some degree.
Oh.
And
well,
the
didn't
main
they do a bunch
characters
of
really are just the old ladies too, like the fairy godmothers, and they're fun. I think they're more fun for an adult to watch, but as a kid, that's boring, especially I think like little boys don't really care about 3 godmothers trying to take care of a princess, And so
they don't care at all.
And then I watched Wonder Woman on TV at the hotel. It's so funny how much that movie felt good because the previous DC movies just sucked that bad.
Yeah.
And then North by Northwest.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's just funny because I wasn't hunting for this. I've just been watching Hitchcock, and that was just what we chose to watch last night. And he visits the Ambassador Hotel, which is where we stayed for the con in Chicago. We did all our after parties and all our different stuff there.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's the hotel just with old materials, but the layout was the same. It was so cool to see. And it was just funny timing. I just left that place. But North by Northwest was pretty cool, I guess. Long movie.
Yeah.
It feels longer than it is, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's
because you go to so many places, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Which is fun.
In LA, they have in LA they have the like painted backdrop for Mount Rushmore at the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures right by the LACMA, Los Angeles County Museum of Art, and it's fucking huge, and it's crazy that it still exists like in its original form, and it was cool to see that because like that's what they did instead of like green screen, is they just had like a huge painting of the Mount Rushmore. Like they took a picture of where they were going to shoot from, and then they had an artist paint it as a backdrop.
It's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
I love that old
And one
studio
of the-
stuff. I'm growing to like that more and more.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things too, is that one of the things that fucking Alfred Hitchcock, whenever he was like, I want to fucking do a chase scene on Mount Rushmore, was like the whole beginning idea of that movie. And he went to Mount Rushmore and was like, yo, can I do this? And they're like, yeah, listen, you can recreate it or you can shoot on top of it as long as there's no violence. And he was like, okay, sure. Yeah, of course. And then proceeded to do whatever he wanted to do anyway.
Yeah. That's funny. Because to me, that was the weakest part of the movie in terms of just being kind of like over it, I guess. I still like the movie, but it's like so underwhelming.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've seen it. So I remember seeing that and being like, huh, that's how we got there? That's how we got to this whole thing? Okay.
Yeah. Someone lives on the top of it. All right.
All right. Okay. Cool. But yeah, I only have that knowledge because of that Academy Museum, and I was like, huh, interesting.
That'd be fun to do that kind of stuff. We're gonna be up in LA eventually because of the
sweet old doc.
Yeah, a few people have moved to LA.
I know.
It's so convenient when they're all in Phoenix, Arizona. Just kidding. But
yeah.
Hey, I mean, I should go to LA eventually. I feel so.
You've never been, right?
Yeah. Or yes. I've never been.
This last time was the best trip I've ever had there.
That's nice.
But it's very important to have a car.
Yeah, city is built for cars. Built around cars.
It is. More than anything else. It's so funny. I saw a funny a thing about Atlanta and Los Angeles. They were like, the city planner just let me build another freeway. I promise it'll be better if you just let me build another freeway, please.
Yeah.
Please just let me put another lane on this freeway. Just one more lane. That's all I need.
Texas and Oklahoma, same thing.
Yeah.
That's a whole city planner conversation we can have another day.
Next episode is we're just gonna do city planning.
Okay.
And I'm gonna let you absolutely go off on city planning. What's a city planning movie so that we can every once in a while come around to city planning? We can come around.
Know.
We can.
I really don't know.
Is there a movie with a city planner? City of God is the number one movie. That's not right. Top urban planning films, IMDb.
The urban planning films, yeah, I'm seeing that. City of God. I mean, I guess
City of God.
I could see City of God. I mean, that is one of my favorite movies. Maybe we do that.
Okay, I've never seen it, which
what?
is I know it's a shame. I know it's a shame.
I think it's like the highest rated movie on IMDb specifically.
It's one of the best. It's like one of the best movies of all time, apparently.
Dang. I like it. I like it a lot. And we didn't do no previews because those would be really fun to break down.
Yeah.
So fucking tired. That's gonna be hard for me to keep going. So unfortunately,
I can hear it in you.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we can't do that. We're not. I just, you just go look them up yourself. But you won't.
Yeah.
You won't get our analysis on people being silly.
Yeah.
But hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you saw the movie and hope you enjoyed it too. But that's all I have for you. What do you have? What do you have for them?
Well, as they say in the Death Valley, A part of me, I've got some scrub brush for sale. Scrub brush for sale. Is this segment working? You scrub brusher. I'm Mr. Scrub Brush. Here, toss it, use it, touch it, be it. I'm like fucking Daft Punk. Over here, scrub it, baby, scrub it up.
Bye-bye.
I'm a horse.